Hey guys, and welcome to All the Mods 9 Progression Log 23, and wow, do I have a lot for you today. Like I said, I've been burned out on Helldivers the last couple of weeks, so there's been like a mega grind going on, and I've been extremely productive. From page 1, I upgraded our clean room to ZPM, I finished off the sterile clean room, we did a bunch of other things here too. I got a lot of things to show you, and I'm sure lots of other stuff to talk about. But first off, we're actually going to talk about the power plant area, because that's close enough. As you can see, I moved the battery. The battery used to be over here, but we needed more turbines. And you'll see in a moment. Oh, right now it's only like 50-ish. Did it? Why? This fusion reactor keeps turning off. Why do you keep turning off? I don't know. I'll have to fix that later. But anyway, so so UV 4 amp energy hatches are like 8.3 million RF each. We have a lot of them throughout the base now. At one point last night, this was peaking at like 160 million RF per tick output. It was actually insane. We were really blasting through it. And we don't need any more antimatter at this point, and we needed more turbines. So I pulled the fission reactor. I moved the battery as well because that was getting kind of full in the block space side, and we wouldn't really been able to upgrade it too much more. So I just moved the battery over and made it larger, so we have plenty of space inside um, for more stuff. So we don't have to upgrade this anymore, and we'll be good on that. I added more turbines, as you can see, so I can keep pushing this fusion reactor higher. The problem is, so how the fusion reactors work is you can give them deuterium and tritium separately, and then you can control the burn rate that way. That's how you do it with fuel, right? Injection 98. Um, However, if you do it with the deuterium tritium method, you can only get a maximum burn rate of 98, which wasn't high enough for what our kind of energy demands at that point. So the other way to do it is to just pre-mix the DT fuel and then inject it, and it burns it as fast as it will. It burns it as fast as it bring it in, theoretically. However, this is the second time it's deignited. I'm not sure. Anyway, we can go here and ignored, and I think we've reignited it. Oh, fuck. I'd have to put a whole room in there. That was a waste of power and time. Anyway. My bad. I'll have to wait for that to happen again. I don't know why this is the second time it's extinguished. I don't know why it's doing that. I think it might have something to do with like I don't know, maybe it's because there's like tritium fuel in there or something. I don't know. I'll fix that. I'll have to fix that later. But yeah, this is basically sort of one of the final upgrades we'll be doing to the power plant area at this point. It's like I said before, the last time I mentioned this. Um, this was like the last major rework of the power system that would ever happen, was me pulling out the fission reactor and placing in more turbines. So at this point now we've reached the stage where it'll just be add more turbines and if necessary add another fusion reactor. I know I said I didn't think we'd need another fusion reactor, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we did. UV 1 amp of UV power is 8.3, 4 amps of UV, 1 amp of UHV power is 8.3 million RF per tick, and there is still a few voltage tiers above that. There is, so in terms of energy hatches. You have UHV energy hatch. Where is it? Uh, there is let's see, UHV energy hatch. Yeah, so there's UHV energy hatch, and then it goes up to like the 16, or it's like there should be a 4 UHV energy hatch. Yeah, so there's 4, and then there's a 16 UHV energy hatch, and it goes all the way up to like 64 UHV. Oh, wait, this is substation. Yeah, I guess it doesn't. There's dynamo hatches and stuff. So there's lots of energy hatches, but it goes up to pretty high in terms of UHV. So we could probably dump 34 million RF per tick into a single machine later on. And that's a lot, guys. It's a lot of power, and I really wish this thing would stop turning off. I don't know why it does that. If you guys, I'm getting really annoyed about this actually. If you guys have any ideas on why it just keep extinguishing, let's see. It's claimed over here. Maybe I need like a larger buffer or something. While you know what it might be? This buffer isn't large enough, and while the system is rebooting, it probably is draining this fuel. So I probably will have to get a larger buffer in between here and here because this is like a 250 a quarter bucket burn rate, but it'll burn as fast as it can, and so it'll burn up to 500 mil buckets per tick. So it'll just blast through this fuel as soon as it can. So it probably has something to do with that, I guess. All right, well I've talked about that. On to what else do I want to talk about next? We'll go ahead and go over to like the clean room area. So it turns out the major blocker to a ton of progression was actually the sterilizing clean room, and that was expensive, and it took me quite some time. But as soon as I set it up, I was able to hammer out the entire stem cell line in like a couple of hours. It took me over like 2 days, so that wasn't so bad. This was not nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be, which is great. Um, and it didn't take me that long either. It wasn't too hard. This is all ZPM machines. Uh, yeah, so we have the sterilizing clean room. We have an assembler here and a circuit assembler in here for on-demand stuff. There are a few recipes that need to be assembled in sterile clean rooms as well. So we got that done. I had to passive a few mob drops. I have bones. They're on a separate drive now, or I don't know. We had them on a storage drive somewhere, so it was okay. And then we have cow essence, so we have raw beef for days now, and months actually, years even. Alright, so we have the sterile clean room. That was good. Let's see. In here is ZPM now. I probably should have waited to upgrade this to UV, but I'm honestly just gonna build a new clean room, a new clean room for UV machines. We have to set up the Fusion Mark III. We need that for some stuff. So that's gonna have to go. We're gonna like Fusion Mark III. So like I said last time, we do need the Fusion Mark III. So I'll have to set that up. I'm kind of done rebuilding this room in here, though. I'm so sick of tearing everything down and putting it back again. This was probably just going to stay at ZPM for the rest of the pack, which actually isn't too far off. I'll talk a little bit more. I think this is going to be a long video, not only just because of all the stuff that I have to talk about, but also just because of all the stuff I want to talk about. Let's see. More wither models. Oh man. So I think let's see. How many nether stars do we have? Because you need like just short of 1,000,000 nether stars to complete for the Greg Star. So yeah. So I have a ton of wither models in here, right? Let's see. Let me make sure that we're still not. Okay, we're good. We're burning through all our wither predictions. This whole thing is almost entirely wither models. This whole column right here is entirely wither models. This one's entirely wither models. This one's mostly wither models. Let's see. Did these ones get pulled out? Huh. Well, mostly wither models, obviously. Um, yeah, so we've got a bunch of these wither models because, like I said, you need like 986,000 nether stars. So I'm not farming those by hand. I also Cosmic set up another 150 over here, down here. So we got another 150 down here, and this has also been helping out. Obviously, man, you need a lot of nether stars. I know I mentioned this before, but you need a lot of nether stars. It's actually kind of ridiculous how many you need. It's like the #1 resource cost of the Alvimodium star, in my opinion. Like in terms of sheer numbers. Obviously, it's the 18 star. You need tons of stuff from all sorts of places, and but really, like it's like 100,000 nether stars per ATM star. Which is a little bit overkill for me, but that's what do I know? It turns I was gonna do industrial foregoing lasers for vibranium and unobtainium because it turns out we did need a lot more of that than I had at the time. But we made bees. So Cosmic went mining for a bunch of that stuff and then made some bees for all of it. So we don't need to do that anymore. I had to build. I've also been making some of the components for the Rex Star as well, right? So let me actually go through. I'll go through this later because that'll be sort of the thing I want to do. I want to talk about some other stuff. All right. So I guess I'll go ahead and go over to the assembly yard. Um, oh, right. I rebuilt the research area. You guys haven't seen this. I rebuilt this like the day after the video or whatever. So this has been for a while. This does 128 computational units per tick. We don't need to upgrade it anymore because nothing that we will be doing. What was that? Oh, shut up. Okay. Um, so nothing that we're going to be doing requires more than 128 computational units per tick. This is more than fine. I love the way this looks. I wanted to do like a big like a. I like all the blinky lights and stuff, and that's why I use glass in the inside so you can see all the blinky lights on the inside of the HPCA's. So yeah, I had to use a network switch back here, and we can just come inside, and it's a little bit of a mess in here. But yeah. So we got bridging units and stuff. I actually melted down an advanced computational thing by accident. We have 4 active HPCA arrays now, and they all using like twice as many coolers as it was before. But I hadn't upgraded my PCB coolant production, and I thought it would be fast enough. It wasn't, so I melted not the whole computer, just one unit down, and the whole system stops working when one doesn't work, apparently, which is really weird. But anyway, it works now. We have more than enough coolant. We're all good. It looks great. I love it. I'm so happy the way this thing looks. Uh, I've been using a lot of auto maintenance hatches too, by the way. You can make these since like HV, and you just don't have to do maintenance anymore. So if you guys are also playing ATM9 or modern GregTech, I guess I think this is ATM9 GT is like an offshoot of like GT6 or something like that. I forget. If you have auto maintenance hatches, you might be able to make them. They may be pretty cheap, and I would suggest you do that because you can get these before you can make the tape. I'm not even kidding. And then you just never have to worry about maintenance again. I had to add a few more circuits on passive. We have the ZPM over here, the wetware processor supercomputers. Wait, no, those are I think those are UV circuits. Yeah, those are UV circuits. And then over here we have the final tier of circuits, the wetware processor mainframes. Over the week I finished circuit progression. The only thing we have left now are like the higher tiers of various recipes, but we have all the circuits that we need. We don't need to make any new circuits in terms of tiers. So if I never touch circuits again, we'll be fine. Like I said, there's a few more advanced recipes, like what is it, quantum. We can make these better. We've been able to make these the better recipes for a while. Well, we have the resources, but not since I rebuilt it in terms of the ZPM clean room. So we can rebuild the EV circuits this way, though I don't really care all that much, if I'm being honest. It's kind of like a whatever. We already have all the other materials before, and it's not like they're that expensive anyway. Um, I mean, I guess you do save some time, but we don't really use EV circuits. Anyway, I had to build the 13 length assembly line, so this doesn't fit over here, and I'm really annoyed about it. Also, I fucked up, and I set this data bank in. I put it on the edge instead of a block in like I should have, like the other ones are, and I don't care. I'm not gonna fix it. I'm, I'm done with it. This one made all the energy clusters because the Greg Star requires the star compression module requires UV energy hatches. Transformer energy cluster. Well, let's see. UV. We need 4 of these. Oh, we need neutronium for that. Where are the transformers? Anyway, we have the energy clusters. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I have to fix that recipe, right? Um, UV transformers. Oh, we have the transformers. Yes, so we have the transformers. So we can make this component once we get the star. We already have all of these things here on this component. We already have UV voltage coils, titanium, obviously. I put these on demand the other day. So we can make this once we get the Star Forge. With this, it's going to take like 4 hours of straight Newtonian production or more. So this will be quite some time. So we can't make that one yet. We need the plasma for this, but everything else we can do. Absolute reaction plating, we can do most of this. We'll have to get, once I get this up, and then neutronium, liquid uranium-235 won't be a problem at all. That's done, black hole controllers are done, antimatter's done, cable of hyperconductivity we can do. We already have all these metals, I put them on demand, or we already have them on passive. N-steel exchanger is done. So most of these components are done. The last major thing for the Greg Star is the neutronium. Like the Fusion Mark III reactor. And then beyond that, like we'll have to set up a few more components, obviously, to make the Star Forge. But once we're pretty close to being done, and I'm on break. This is my last fall break. After this, I have about 2.5 weeks of college left. I graduate like the 19th of December or something like that. I'll have to double check, or maybe I fly out back home, something like that. Anyway, um, so I'm pretty close to being done with college, and I'm pretty close to being done with ATM9. So it's been a long time coming for both of these things. Obviously, not as long as it has been for my degree, but anyway. So we're almost done, guys. I know I talked about last log that would be like around like the 30 like the 32 progression log mark, and I think we might if because I'm on break this week and I'm kind of sick of Helldivers. I would not put it out of the realm of possibility that we finish by the end of this week. I don't know if it will happen. I do have a few things I need to do over break, like my resume and stuff. But it's not out of the realm of possibility. I have to set up like the fusion, like a couple fusion reactors, and then it's just kind of a waiting game. We already have everything we need for the star too, besides the nether stars, obviously, which is already a waiting game. So at this point, it's fusion reactor Mark III. Set up another fusion reactor so I can get the various plasmas for the robust star housing, and that's about it. So, uh, yeah, we're a lot closer than I thought it was. Like the major thing was just the sterilizing clean room. Like this just took so long. Like these sterilizing filter casings are expensive. Like 10, let's see. Like it requires, 19 20 of these crystal processors, which itself wasn't so, which I think was kind of like the blocker at the time because they take fucking forever to craft. Also, it was tritium foils, and that took forever to craft as well. It was just long. It took a lot of time. And, yeah, so, well, alright, so, that's done now. So, I would have to build another another clean room for UV stuff. I set up Plascrete last night. I set up a big craft of it. We've got 400. I think I'm going to need another few hundred, but I want to upgrade the fluid solidifier first. It takes forever. Um, Oh, why are you flickering over here? What's your problem? Ah, there we go. Um, yeah, okay, so that's about all of it in terms of progression. I had to turn off wood log production. I switched it over to saplings so we can make some plant balls for the stem cell line. Oh, I almost forgot. Playtime. That's one of them. That was probably a very important thing to go over. Let's take a look. Time played 23.79 days. So I've played zero point 0.8 days or so since the last log or something like that. I don't know. Here, let me take a look. 23.79 times 24 is 571 hours. Wow. I put in like 15 hours over the week, something like that. Um, I don't know, quite a bit. Let's see, anything else that I forgot? Energy clusters, no. Oh, these things like stocking bus, I have those technically. I'm not rebuilding the centrifuges either, and I'm not stripping out XNet. It's just not worth my time. Everything, if it works, fuck it, I'm done. I had to turn arsenic vapor off because we don't have enough arsenic for that, and actually, arsenic bees don't work. Like, so this is entirely on me, and I feel incredibly silly right now. Arsenic bees don't make the arsenic of GregTech. They give you this arsenic from ChemLib, and you can't convert this into GregTech arsenic dust. It doesn't work. So I had Psy make me some arsenic bees that we can't do anything with. However, what we can do is we can make cobalt bees, or cobalt-tite bees. I think, let's see. Let's see. I'm curious if Cosmic ever got around to it. Wonder where they are. Ancient bees. I thought she said she got around to it. Maybe she put it somewhere else. In here? I don't know. I'll have to ask her later, I guess. Crystalline bee, unobtainium, tungsten. Huh. Anyway. We can make cobalt-tite bees. Alright, here. Cobalt-tite. So you can make cobalt-tite bees, and these will give you cobalt-tite. What does the combs give you? Oh, so the blocks don't give you any better chance? So I guess it's better to decompress them into the combs. Anyway, you can make cobaltite this way with the bees, and then cobaltite dust can be electrolyzed for arsenic. So that's how we're going to be able to farm bees through arsenic, or farm arsenic through bees, um, because the miners just aren't pulling up fast enough for fusion. Fortunately, we have so I turned off. So I turned it off. In terms of I think it's like luteum is what you need it for, or something like that. Um, let's see, chromium, luteum. No, yeah, I think it's over here. Yeah, you can hear it's off. So this is that's liquid silicon. I don't have enough liquid silicon. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that later. Anyway, I know you need arsenic for something. What do you need arsenic for? I need to know this, so I know what I turned off. Oh, I turned off Darmastium. That's a little bit more concerning. How much? We have like 14,000 ingots though, so we'll be okay. So we do need a lot of arsenic, and we blasted through virtually our entire stockpile. We have 21,000 now, and that's because I had to move the miners again last night, my least favorite chore, and they started pulling up cobaltite almost instantly. Is that supposed to be on fire? Probably. Um, Man, I can't believe silicon's broken again. Fuck. I hope it's not over here with like the clean with the vacuum freezer problem. I don't think so. I'm getting tired. I think. Ah. Well, this is a problem. I don't know how. I'm gonna have to fix that later, I guess. I don't know. Just add more vacuum freezers. Fuck. Um. Anyway, that's it in terms of progression. So if you guys were, I'm gonna start rambling now more than I normally do. So if you're here for progression, consider yourself updated on said progression. Obviously there's always just a few things around the base that. Oh, did I ever show? I added a little bit of deco work over here to the petrochem area. I do want to do more deco work in general, but it always gets pushed by the wayside when I have so much Greg to do. Greg's a state of mind. It's not just like a thing you do. It's a way you think, a way you live. It's a state of mind, a lifestyle. Uh, anyway. All right, so I think I'm gonna try and I think I kind of want to talk about a few other things, mostly related to uh random stuff. So if you're done listening, this is the end of the craft, effectively. Um, all right. So one of the things I've been doing these videos for is obviously I enjoy sharing what I've been doing with other people, other like-minded individuals who also enjoy the craft and the Greg and the modded Minecraft and all that kind of good stuff, right? But also part of it is I hope to be able to come back to these videos in 5 years, 10 years, and look what I did 5 years, 10 years ago. Like my 10 year the version of myself in 10 years may be watching this video again. And if you are me from the future, hello me from the past. Um I hope what I have done I hope I don't know. What do I say? What do you say to that? It's like a time cat. Like these videos to me are almost like a time capsule, a snapshot of my portion of my life, of the time I'm finishing college. I have been in college for 6.5 years. I am almost done with my degree. I'm 24 and a half years old at this point. I'm almost out of college. Like this is a snapshot in my life of that's ending. I'm finishing college. I am I don't know how else do I don't know how to get that across. Uh, so this is to me these videos are not just a way of me sharing this craft, the fun I'm having and the things I'm building with all of you. It's also a way to share this portion of my life with a version of myself that doesn't exist yet with 10 years, 15 years, 20 years maybe if we're lucky. I'll be able to come back to these videos, assuming YouTube still exists. It probably will, but who knows. Anyway, um, to come back to these videos and sort of relive this time in my life and hope maybe it'll help me remember things that I've done. Like, what will I remember about my portion of my life? Will I remember the things I had on my desk? Because I have a lot of things on my desk right now. Will I remember my apartment? Who will I remember? Who won't I remember? What portions of of college will I have forgotten by then. And I hope maybe watching these videos a little bit will help me remember that portion at in the distant future. And if I've put a lot of time into modded Minecraft, probably a little bit more than I should have, if I'm being honest. Um, and I hope my future self isn't angry with me for doing that. Isn't like, oh, I wasted so much time, or I really shouldn't have done that, or I can't believe I wasted my, you know, oh, this is a quote. I don't know where it came from. That I really like a lot, and it's time enjoyed is not time wasted. We don't get that much time on, Earth or whatever before, we kick the bucket or whatever. And I think if you spend your whole life just in this endless, unending grind, that can be a little bit. Uh, I don't know if that's a way to live, in my opinion. Obviously, everyone, some people love like the turbo grind. They love hustling more or less, for lack of a better word. Um, Not me. I enjoy living my life. I enjoy doing uh, you know, what I'm doing here. Like for example, like I've had many classmates who. So for those of you who don't know, I go to CU Boulder, which is uh, one of the top aerospace schools in the United public aerospace schools in the country. And this isn't like a haha I'm so good. It's like many of my classmates definitely deserve to be here, and they're all like super driven and super smart and super focused, and they do nothing but like 10 hours a day, study day in, day out, and they get like 4.0s, or they just like look at a concept that I am struggling with and they just get it, you know? And so, I had to learn. I couldn't do that. I had to learn a lot coming here. I had to learn how to like. I've always struggled with comparing myself against others, and I had to learn very quickly on how not to do that here at CU Boulder, because I will always lose in that sense, right? Like my classmates are kind of insane. Like our when I took senior projects, um, we have a capstone project, and that's done in our senior year, and we find some engineering project that's been sponsored by some engineering company, one or the other, and some of them are sponsored by the school or whatever. And some of them are pretty common. Like for example, the one some of my friends worked on was a hybrid rocket. And what hybrid rockets is, they both use solid fuel and liquid. They use solid and liquid reactants, and they're extremely complicated. Uh, and I'm not exactly sure the benefits of using hybrid rockets, but CU Boulder has been running a hybrid rocket senior project for nearly 20 years, off and on for the last 2 decades. And it had never gotten off the ground before. And my friends managed to get it off the ground. It got like I think they expected it to get like 17,000 feet, and I think they only hit like 9,000 or something like that. But it was still an absolute work of art. I can't believe they pulled it off. They pulled something that no one else had pulled off yet. Like the first time it had gotten off the ground. Other teams had made engines, they'd made things where they'd made like hulls and they had to replace it with, like, because that was like a 3-team project. They had, avionics, they had it was a ground station, a structures team, and an engine team. And all of the other years, not all, some of them had pulled through, but not all of them. And this year they fucking did it. So I had to learn very quickly not to compare myself against others, and I learned exactly the kind of person I am. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the engineering process. I enjoy solving problems. I also enjoy living my life. I don't know. I don't think that doesn't make me a bad person. That doesn't make me a bad student. It doesn't even make me a bad engineer. It doesn't make me a bad anything. It makes me who I am. You know, I, time enjoyed is not time wasted. And I've enjoyed my time here in ATM 9. I've spent, like, as you guys saw, 571 hours in this world. That's a lot of time for anything anyone would ever do. Like, 500 hours is not a small amount of time. I've been putting in time for, like, what at this point? 5-ish months or so? Like, that's a time investment. And I've enjoyed it. I'll be happy to be done. It's gonna be fun being flat broke again and having to craft everything by hand. You know what I mean? But I've enjoyed my time here, and like I was talking about before, how these videos are partially a time capsule to for so later versions of myself can try and maybe understand who I was a little bit more now. We always like the passage of time kind of catches up to you like all of a sudden. You're like, man, it was like I graduated from high school 6 years ago. Can't believe it. I started high school 10 years ago. I can't believe that either. Like, what the fuck? How did that happen? When did I turned around and like, I'm done with college? What? And like, I've been at CU Boulder for 3.5 years. It's like, I'm done? What? When did that happen? You know? So, I've started in like kind of considering these videos, like I meant, like a time capsule for my future versions of myself. So hopefully they will understand the person I was better. Maybe I can look on him like, man, what kind? Maybe not only that, not just to understand who I was as a person, but also understand myself as how I built bases, how I played Minecraft, how I presented it to you guys. Like there is so much of my like these videos are like me frozen in amber almost. These videos won't change. How I am creates these videos, the kind of person I am, obviously changes the way these videos are made. I don't do any editing for these videos. I trim them a little bit, and then that's about it. And I make like a 5-minute thumbnail, and I post them, you know? And maybe that'll change over time. And it'll be interesting to see how these videos change, if they do, over time. And be able to go back in time and go, oh man. And maybe a part of me will go, man, I hate these videos, and I'll want to delete them. And if that's true, I don't delete them, future me. Uh, they are honest. I wouldn't call them high quality, but I would call them honest. I don't script these things. I just kind of, I keep the notebook so I can help, make sure I talk about as many of the things I want to talk about as possible. And I just kind of fuck it, we ball, and we're balling. It's been a fun time. It's been a fun couple of months, and I've actually been doing videos for sometime in January. Will probably be like 1 year or so of doing one almost every week. Obviously, that hasn't happened every week between being sick or not getting stuff done or, delays between packs. Like when I did antimatter chemistry and mechanical mastery, I think I had like a 2 or 3 week gap in there because the antimatter chemistry has a little bit of a spit up time. But yeah. So I think I've probably rambled for long enough just about things that aren't even related to progression. If you guys are still here, thank you for watching and thank you for listening to me philosophically rambleize. Ramble? Uh, anyway, just about stuff in general and about the nature of videos, I guess. Um, I hope you guys have had a good week. Mine was pretty good. I hope you guys will have a good week. Mine will be pretty good. It's break, so it's hard to have a bad week, I guess. But here's hoping it's good. Um, all right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a good week. And happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a good time with friends and family and eat lots of good food. I will be. um, all right, guys. Well, I'll go ahead and cut it here. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all again next week.